Band-assisted static lunge. We'll use this version for our clients that aren't yet strong enough to squat their own body weight with a proper pattern. We like to use the Cook bands as they give us a quantifiable measure here. We can utilize regressive assistance and go to lighter and lighter bands as the client gains strength. We cue the client to stay nice and tall and to drop the knees straight down where they almost touch the floor, pushing primarily through the front heel and not letting the back weight shift backwards. The band actually helps to give them a little bit of an anterior weight shift, which is self-correcting for those clients that tend to let their torso fall forward. We also don't want to see the front knee cave in and go into a valgus position. We want that shin to stay vertical as viewed from the front and side. Partial co-contraction lunge. This is a lunge that starts from the bottom position. If we place the left leg forward, we're going to raise the back knee about 2 inches off the ground, place the right hand on the inside of the knee on the VMO or vastus medialis oblique, and then we're going to place the left hand on the glutes. We're trying to train those muscles to co-contract and work together. So it's a lunge that's going to start from the bottom and move roughly about halfway up. It's a very slow tempo exercise. We're going to move up very slowly and move down slowly and hold the bottom position for a pause as well here. Real tough exercise. Static lunge, or as some people call it, a split squat. We're going to take a fairly long stride here and drop the knee straight down. We want to keep the torso nice and vertical with the abs braced lightly, pressing primarily through the front part of the heel as our primary propulsion point here. We want the foot flat on the floor though. The shin will be fairly vertical as viewed from the side and definitely vertical as viewed from the front. We don't want to see any knee valgus occurring on this movement. We want to keep most of the weight on the front leg as well as we drop straight down. We cue our clients to move vertically and not horizontally as they're doing this motion.
Here's our dynamic lunge here. Set up nice and tall, nice and straight. Then we have an alternating forward lunge. We just call it our dynamic lunge. The cue here is that we stay real tall through the upper body and the chest. And we cue the client to drive the heel through the floor and really try to avoid pushing off the ball of the foot. It is a quad dominant exercise, but we very much like to get the heel involved and try to get some sort of hip extension posterior chain out of this. So again, we really like to cue. Here we have a Bulgarian split squat. One foot on the bench. The foot on the floor is going to be slightly ahead of that trail knee here. And the cue is we drop that rear knee straight down and drive the front heel, the heel on the floor, right through the floor. Posture up real tall and drive the heel through the floor. This is one of our more progressed or difficult versions here. Notice that the posture doesn't change. There's a big tendency on this particular exercise, as you go down, those hips are going to want to come backwards. That butt's going to want to rear out here. But we really try to keep those hips forward the entire time on this exercise. Here we have our walking lunge. The cue here mainly is we just like to swing that leg through and pull through the front heel. Staying nice and tall every single time, long healthy steps. Here's our single leg squat to the box. This is basically, we use this for a depth gauge here. Try to touch the rear end to the box, and drive the heel through the floor, stand up tall. Notice that we like to put those arms forward a little bit to kind of help that counterbalance here. We'll start with a high box and progressively lower it. Now we have a single leg squat on the box now. Same idea as a squat to the box, except now if you notice the leg gets a chance to go underneath the box. So it gives us room here so we can go all the way down here. So again, arms come forward to help the balance. And notice that leg off the box has a chance to go down. We'll have the single leg squat, the final progression here. Now we don't have the depth gauge as a box, and we have to actively keep that open chain foot up in the air. Notice that we're getting a little backgrounding here, but since we're unloaded, that's okay. We have our barbell front static lunge, just showing you how to get the straps on that we use in here. Cinch it up real tight. We wrap it around, pass the end through the loop, make sure it's taut. We try to get those straps about shoulder width here. So this is our regress version if they don't have the wrist mobility or the thoracic extension for this. Barbell resting on the shoulders, not the hands. And now we go into our basic front static lunge here. All the weight, as much as we can, is on that front heel. And we just cue them. That rear knee goes straight down, driving the heel through the floor. We have very little forward and backward movement, really trying to isolate that vertical plane here. Now we'll just get those straps out to the side and advance this move a little bit. So now it's a little bit more demanding on thoracic extension and wrist mobility, but the move remains the same. Good posture, straight up and down. We cue driving that heel straight through the floor, straight up and down. That bar's going to rest, again, comfortably on the shoulders here, not the hands. And as we go down towards the floor, the cue is elbows up, chest up. The main mistake here is if the elbows drop, you end up holding the weights in the hands, and we want it resting on the shoulder.